hang on. Are you telling me that me personally, that if I make the same mortgage payment every month, but if I do it twice a month instead of once a month because of the way that interest is compounded daily, that I'm going to save something like $100,000 over the life of, like $160,000 over the life of my loan?
It's a no-brainer. When you're talking to your clients and you're sharing this kind of information, you know that you're going to be the fiduciary of choice.
So the reason that we're talking to you is that we have heard some absolutely amazing things that you're doing in your market center around teaching and coaching to mortgage hacks. Is that right?
Yeah. So I had the pleasure of coming out there to Austin for one of Gary's team leader masterminds when the mortgage hacks playbook was passed out. And I immediately looked at my OP when we wrapped everything up, and I said, we've got to get this on the calendar now. And so I had a moment, to be honest, where I was like, can we teach this? Because it wasn't really portrayed to us at the mastermind that the intention was for us to be teaching this to our agents. But I figured that if Gary was putting it in our hands, that we needed to be using it. And so we got it on our calendar 2 weeks later. And we chose to go in the direction of having our preferred lender come in and carry some of the weight of the mortgage questions that we knew were going to be asked. And so that was a great way for us to strengthen that partnership in-house. But it was the highest attended class that we've ever had here at the Market Center.
I'm sorry, that's got me floored. That's amazing. So quick question for you on this. So 2 weeks, that's a pretty short turnaround time for a class, for any class, let alone one that you've never taught before, and you're not even totally sure if you're supposed to be teaching it, which you are. So I love that you did that. Thank you for.
I think it's better to ask forgiveness than permission, you know?
Yeah, I'm a fan of that process as well. So help me out first. Was your intended audience your agents and possible future KW agents, or was it their clients?
It was my agents and recruits. Absolutely.
All right, so agents and guests.
We did have a very large amount. I want to say we had about 8 recruits that attended. So my assistant team leader and I hit the road running. I only have a leadership staff of 4 people, and we're a market center of 421, I believe. Is
lean and mean. Right, I like it.
Yeah, very lean and mean. And so we knew that we had to really, to be honest, what we did is we took a lot of the material that was given, just cropped and created a PowerPoint presentation, and then a book that played right along with it. We've really focused a lot of our attention on the seller buy downs, because we knew that that was going to be the bulk of it. But the class lasted about 2 hours completely.
2 hours. Okay. All right. Sorry. So I'm just taking some notes here because I love this and I want to be able to replicate what you've done. Highest attended class of all time with 8 guests. That is, I think, any team leader listening to this.
Yeah, we had 75 people in attendance in person, plus we had people on Zoom as well.
With 2 weeks notice. Okay, so that I'm throwing out a whole bunch of my limiting beliefs at this point where no, I've got to have months to advertise. So, okay, so you want to recap. You got the information during one of Gary's masterminds of, hey, here are some mortgage hacks. And we've released that document to all of the leadership of Keller Williams. So this is available to everybody already. So you went through those. Did you cherry pick some of the ones, like you said, the seller buy downs, or did you take all of them?
We took all of them and provided them with that information. But to be honest, I'm married to a lender, so I was probably more familiar with the seller buy downs than most team leaders were. And we've been doing a market of the moment mastermind with our agents. Gosh, I think for about 8 months now. So typically what I do is I take the mastermind information that Gary provides us. I turn it into a once a month market of the moment class that I do on Mondays. And so my agents have become very used to us providing a very high level of information based on the data that Gary shares with us. And so they knew when we said mortgage hacks and that they were going to be walking away with the case studies in hand. That was the other teaser that I gave them. I said, show up, you will have case studies, you will have actual math equations laid out to explain this. I didn't even get the lender in place to be a part of the class until the day of.
Okay, so if I'm a team leader, maybe I've only been in the role a couple of months. I'm kind of new to all of this. My head is spinning because there's so much. where would you suggest that I start if I'm like, yes, I want to do what Sarah just did. I want to teach this mortgage hacks class, or I should say that I want to have this taught in my market center. Where should I start?
Just start with the playbook. Literally take the information in the playbook, create a slideshow, give them the handouts because they're going to feel like they're drinking through a fire hose.
Okay, and the slide deck, if I remember you saying correctly, you basically just copied and pasted. This was not me having to get creative.
Snippet tool, snippet and canvas.
Command 4, that's yes.
That's it. And then I had a mortgage professional there just to answer. I just felt comfortable, having someone that was actually licensed in that area.
Well, and it brings up a good opportunity for our preferred vendors, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It does. And it was actually her first day being in the market center. And she probably got at least 10 of the agents calling her afterwards. She happened to be 18 plus years in the industry and she was a very energetic presenter. So she brought a lot of energy. I would recommend that. You have to have somebody that has high energy and a high understanding of mortgages and the language that agents use, because otherwise the information's just not going to stick.
All right. So step 1, I download the playbook. Step 2, I snippet tool my way through that, popping it into a slide deck. Step 3, I select a lender to co-host with me, and I need to make sure that that lender has high knowledge and high energy.
Yep. I highly recommend that the team leader and the OP be part of the conversation. That's what I did in mine. If your OP is not in production, mine happens to be a licensed agent as well. Mm-hmm. I would bring maybe your top producer.
Okay.
Someone that is going to be that it gives that
validity.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So he happens to be a very popular OP here. And so he so graciously, so I kind of ran it. I ran the PowerPoint. I kept the energy up because that's what us team leaders are good at doing. I had the lender sitting to my right as like a panelist, and then my OP was sitting on the other side as the second panelist. And then as we were progressing through it, I encouraged everybody that was in the crowd to stop us and ask questions as we progressed through. And so obviously on the 3-2-1 buy downs and the 2-1 buy downs, the hands were shooting up quite a bit, but it created a lot of interaction, which also lended to the high energy of the class, which kept the pace high.
That's great. Okay. So I've selected my lender. I've got a top producer, an OP, myself, a panel of at least 3 people, panel style at the front. We've got the slide deck going. What else do I need to do to get this up and running in my market center?
Just have the playbook printed out.
Okay.
I'm finding right now that my agents absolutely love walking away with something in hand.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of this information with us, Sarah. I know that there are going to be a lot of team leaders who are going to be doing mortgage hacks in the next month or so, so cannot wait to see what you all do.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Kelly.